because the environment has changed. There's closures here and there. They can't wake up and just go and sell in shops. Others were saying what I was producing is not marketable anymore. And so that's what made us think, okay, so digital space, here we come. So
everything is here.
It's here.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am sitting at the KEPSA offices. I wanted to let you know we have sanitized. We've had our masks. We're women. We never have to be asked twice, okay? But I want to talk business. And guess what? I wouldn't be at KEPSA if I didn't want to talk business. She needs no introduction, but I need to do it because her mom might be watching. So the KEPSA CEO, Carol Karaoke Karuga. I haven't seen you since.
I know, can you imagine?
I know. And a girl who I met when she was doing something online. And then she decided I could do more of this. This is Abigail Bunde. She is from Amari Consulting. The reason we're having this conversation is that there's a sense of deja vu about where we are today. It's March, April 2021, and somehow feels a little bit like 2020, which for me, I don't know about you, and Carol, I want to start with you. For me, it means that the conversation we kept having called when things go back to normal, that this is our normal, and then we shall create new normals.
Yeah.
But what has that been like for you as KEPSA CEO?
You don't want to go there. But anyway, I think what it has been, has had its good and bad.
Okay.
But people hear the bad a lot, but they don't hear the good.
Let's hear the good.
And the good is that we've realized that we are very innovative as a country.
Oh, yeah.
And that innovation, I don't think would have gotten there at this pace in our old normal.
No. Why?
Because we were comfortable.
Yes.
And we could do business. But now we're not, because things have changed. And so people have had to think, what do we do differently? In terms of how do I produce differently? How do I market differently? How do I buy differently?
How do I access my customers differently?
How do I access my customers? And now also realizing, we've always said we are a global village.
Yes.
But a lot of us, unless you feel like until I'm a big company, I can't accept the global world. But now we're realizing you can actually seated at home.
You can.
Yeah.
But this now brings me to Abigail. When you started Amari Consulting, the digital space, you'd been there before. Did you ever think you'd see a day like today, where without a doubt, if digital strategy was not part of a business's makeup, then that company really had no strategy? Did you ever think that was possible?
I mean, just like Carol says, everyone was comfortable.
Yeah.
So we kept preaching horse and saying, guys, you need to get onto this ship now. But now COVID happened and everyone was like, all right.
So how do I do this?
Yeah, so what we thought would come 5-10 years from when we started came literally 2 years into it. Yeah.
Were you ready?
Yes and no.
Yes and no, like all of us. And I'm glad she was honest because, some people are like, we pivoted. We're like, no, we were not ready, but we had to be.
Yes.
Yes. We had to be.
Yes, so we had to be. We didn't anticipate the numbers that we needed to support then. We didn't anticipate the urgency, but then we had to now shift and partner and do all that we can to support everyone.
But however, Carol, I need to ask you this because when I think about it, so of all the things you could do, and all of us are required to be useful in the spaces we have the most influence in. KEPSA is big, but you said a booster program digitally led for SMEs. What gave birth to that?
Because what we did from March, actually before our first case in the country, and that's the time I think we're starting to hear cases in Europe and all that, then we started saying, our global chains are with Asia, Europe, and the Americas and all. So are they going to start being affected, whether we get COVID here or not? And so we did our first survey, and we started seeing some of the businesses that have those global value chains were starting to be affected, despite that we hadn't had a case in Africa.
Yes.
And so that was the first one. Then we thought, okay, then we had our first case. And that now we said, okay, then we're going to have to do surveys every 3 months and see the impact on business as this thing grows in this space.
Because it was not going away.
It wasn't going away. And now more cases, more countries in Africa. You remember there was that time when media kept telling us, now there's Kenya, Uganda.
Yes, I know
like
it was
that.
growing. It was like
growing.
a little bit of Egypt. This,
exactly.
that,
You know, and the impact on business was also growing. And would also segment businesses. You know, the impact on large businesses and the impact on small businesses. And we realized the small businesses were getting impacted more and more. And so we started saying, okay, government, we are working with government on incentives, economic incentive, physical measures and all that. But they can't do everything. We need to do something. And we've always supported business in different ways. I mean, we exist to support business. And so in doing that, that's when we said, what are some of the programs we could do for SMEs?
Yes.
At first we thought, we did one with MasterCard, which is to support them with interest-free loans, because we said there are many SMEs that cannot access credit in the banks. However much the banks are trying to have
and this
products.
would be MasterCard Foundation?
MasterCard Foundation.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Instead of, because there's still many, even though banks are trying to have products for SMEs, there's still so many, especially the micro ones, they can't access that. And so we came up with that to support about 400 SMEs to begin with, but it's a revolving fund, so it should grow. Then we started saying, but then there was also demand for information. People needed to know, where do I sell? Now that there are containment measures, what do I do? You know, so we opened a 24-hour call center for businesses. So you could call in and get responses on what's going on and how you can do business. And that's when we started
Carol.
Thank you. And that's when we started hearing SMEs, their biggest issues not only was the credit side, but now they couldn't access their usual markets. And we thought, okay, because the environment has changed, you know, there's closures here and there. They can't wake up and just go and sell in shops. Others were saying, what I was producing is not marketable anymore. And so that's what made us think, okay, so digital space, here we come. You know, so
everything is here.
It's here. Then we need to, so we started a training and mentoring program at first, so they could talk to each other, they could talk to big businesses. So apart from the 24-hour call center, we had a mentoring and training program.
Nice.
Which happens even today every Friday morning. And we have about 400 to 400 SMEs that call who join in from around the country. And one of the businesses, whether it's a Vimal Shah or whoever, will come in and talk about their journey and what they're doing, and and they would ask questions and all that. So that's really been good. And then that's when we thought, okay, why don't we do then a booster program?
Okay.
For them, because then we're saying they're talking about accessing markets, but then there's also opportunity for them now to be able to access markets even internationally, but also they need training on how to do this because they don't know how to use those platforms, you know, and the strength.
But they think they do.
But they think they do. Some, at least some think. But some were honest. They say, I don't even know how to. I've never sold or bought anything online.
Online?
Yes. So that's when we went to Trademark East Africa, which is one of our partners in the European Union, and we said, we can do this because these are the other things we're doing with SMEs, and this is their need right now. And that's why they said, we also have Amari Consulting, who've also been thinking about the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you guys get together.
Serendipity.
Yeah, and let's work together.
This is where I have a moment where I say, so the reason I called them is that I saw on Twitter that they had done this thing and I hadn't been invited. I was like, interested, so perhaps. No, really. I saw the launch and I was like, but that's my space. Why am I not part of this conversation? So that's how the two of you got together, Mary and KEPSA. So how does a booster program work? Yeah, I think I'm interested in that because, you know, when wires were being fitted, you said that you're on your 5th cohort, graduated 500 SMEs already. There's room for you, don't worry, in case you knew about it and then you've done nothing. Imagine, Mungu alali, back again at you. But what do you offer?
Okay, so like Carol said, the biggest gap was the how. You know, we make a lot of assumptions and assume that people know this stuff. The people who actually know how to fully trade online are very few. Okay, most people, it's a good thing that people are trying to experiment. So a lot of Kenyans are online, but posting a thing or two on social media here and there, maybe you've posted, you've missed on the price, so you're saying DM for the price, you drop the sale.
Wacheni or so.
Exactly. Or maybe you've put on your website a picture of a bag, but the color description is different, the sale has dropped. You get? So the start of it is that we ask you to register. So please register.
Please register. Link is here. Link is here. Yeah.
So we ask you to register. Once you register, we do a digital audit of your business. So one of the questions we ask is, what kind of presence do you have online? So do you have a website? Do you have
website?
Do you have a website? Do you have social media?
Naniko Facebook.
Exactly. Do you have Instagram? Do you have, where are you? Okay. Are you on Twitter? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on a marketplace? What's your presence like? A lot of them actually, most of them, of the ones we have signed up so far, are operating in their physical stores. And then the second one is social media. And then very few have websites. And then even fewer are on e-commerce marketplaces. And the blocker is that most of them don't know how, okay?
Yeah.
So we even go further. Once you have said, for example, if you have, so a lot of people don't have, but the ones who have, we go online and see, okay, what are you doing online? So you will find someone's last post was in 2017. True. And then now from 2017, people now started trying to post again because of COVID.
Oh, of course, because it was the only way they could access their customers.
It was the only way.
But literally, and you know the worst thing about social media is that it says, Abigail has posted again for the first time in a long time.
in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're like, hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the question comes in, people say, but we're getting likes. If you're lucky, you get likes, but no one's buying.
But that's a vanity matrix.
Yes. Yes, so there's no conversion. So what we do once we've done the digital audit is that we group them into cohorts of 125 per sector. So far we've done services and consultancy. We've done guys in travel and tourism who, of course, were one of the hardest hit. We've done food and beverage, agriculture and fresh produce. So we had guys sitting in class in Zoom, but midway probably had to coordinate their deliveries and stuff like that. And yeah, so we do training every Monday to Friday. We have 4 core units. So we do the basics of what is e-commerce, what is it, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, which platforms can you sell on. We cover all that. Then we do online branding and digital marketing. This is where we educate on what a brand is.
I like the way she's gone, we educate. I want you to take a break. I want to take a break so you can call your friend and say, get in here. Yeah. But when we come back, Carol, the question I have for you is, as you saw the module, what is the one thing that excited you about the module that she put together? As for you, what did your students say, hiya? I want to know what those ones are, okay? So here's the thing. I'm here because, as usual, FOMO. KEPSA had a launch. It was online. I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, but me, the Kimenyi from digital, I was not there. Why? And when I called and said I'd like to have this conversation, it took us a minute, and then this happened. I was like, ladies, it is time. It is time. So register. Don't be that person who says, nafikiria niko Facebook, lakini aisaidiangi, because that's how we talk, okay? Subscribe and come back.